Just to, I guess, not mince any words, do you want to tell us what this story's about? And
yeah, this is a whistleblower, current employee at Pfizer. Melissa is her name, and she took screenshots of some emails from executives at Pfizer, including Vanessa Gelman, Senior Director, Worldwide Research. And in these emails, the pharmaceutical executives say, quote, "One or more cell lines with an origin that can be traced back to human fetal tissue has been used in laboratory tests associated with the vaccine program." Now, some of this is public knowledge in that fetal cells are used. But what's interesting about these emails is that all these executives at Pfizer are saying to each other, let's not tell people that that's true. And I'm going to quote the email here. Quote, "We want to avoid having the information on fetal cells floating out there. We want to avoid," this is a direct quote, "the risk of communicating this right now outweighs any potential benefit we see." And they say to hide this information from public. So investigative reporting is always about making public what people want to keep secret. So my question is, why are these pharmaceutical executives in their emails trying so hard to keep this information secret? And this outraged the whistleblower so much that this woman went public yesterday night with Project Veritas on the record. She's currently employed by Pfizer. Probably the first time anyone has ever done this, sort of expose the pharmaceutical industry. Everyone says I should be worried about this, but this whistleblower has informed me that a lot of people at Pfizer agree with her, and we're looking forward to more Pfizer employees coming out.
Now, here's the interesting thing. We have this, I pulled this up earlier in the day on a different segment, Children's Hospital Philadelphia, that says vaccine ingredients, fetal cells. And all of these, there's a whole bunch of articles that are like certified fact check say, no, there's no fetal cells in the vaccines. Don't worry about it.
Right.
No, the issue is they use them in manufacturing or the testing of the vaccine. So you're not getting injected with it. But in order to make them, to do the tests, they are using them. Now, there's a couple of really interesting things as it relates to your story. The first thing is, this website from the Children's Hospital Philadelphia mentions that the Janssen vaccine, the J&J vaccine, does use viruses grown in fetal cells. But that's the only one. It doesn't mention Pfizer. So I don't think we had any confirmation that Pfizer was actually using fetal cells.
We do have states, and I'm reading from the state of California, says, quote, "Pfizer does not require the use of any fetal cells in order to manufacture, produce the vaccine." So this would be a direct contradiction. What the executives... Yep, go ahead.
Well, in the manufacture of this was in the lab tests.
Laboratory tests, yes.
So that's what I'm saying. I feel like, one of the things I mentioned to people earlier in the day was, we're going to end up seeing a congressional hearing where you're going to get some Republican going like, what's this Project Veritas report I hear where you're using fetal cell tissues in the production of this vaccine? And they'll say, we do not use any fetal cells in any capacity manufacturing this vaccine. It is fake news. They're online conspiracies. Oh, we did do tests using them to get to the point where we could make the vaccine.
Laboratory tests.
Right.
So what you're saying is they're going to sort of do a non sequitur and say, well, we don't use it to put it in the vaccine that goes in your body. But two things can be true. They can use it in laboratory tests and also not use it in the production.
And they'll twist it. So I imagine this. You'll get a Rand Paul or whatever being like, we have a report from Veritas that laboratory tests in the production of the vaccine.
And they'll change the subject.
Exactly.
Right.
They'll change something and say, we do not manufacture the vaccine with fetal cells. That's not true. And then when the Republican, if any of the Republicans actually do question this, will either miss the manipulation or not have enough time to follow up. And that's the political game they'll play. So I do think that's particularly fascinating. But I will add too, on top of all of that, just from this article from chop.edu, when they mention why they use fetal cells, this is what that really got me. They said, it's because fetal cells can typically divide more times than any other cells. They say in fetal cells, it is around 50 divisions they can make. Other cells can only divide substantially less because they're older cells.
Right.
So it sounds to me like it would just be an inconvenience to use cells that aren't from aborted fetal tissue, but they're making a cost-effective decision that it's cheaper and more effective.
Right, and this is another quote from the email here from Vanessa Gelman, Senior Director, Worldwide Research. These are not low-level employees, Tim. Sometimes we get criticized for going after mid-level. No, these are high-level people here. Vanessa Gelman saying, quote, "General members of the public who may take this information and use it in ways we may not want it out there. Avoid raising this as possible." What's interesting about these Pfizer emails is they also talk about Facebook. They say, we don't want this information on Facebook, which is deeply ironic given all the censorship occurring about our videos are being taken off Facebook. So these executives are so concerned about people knowing this information that the cells are used in the development of the vaccine.
Man, it just makes me feel like these massive multinational corporations, elements within the government, big tech, they know that the masses, that the populace opposes this stuff. They know they have reason to fear if people hear about this, they'll object to it. They know what they're doing violates the morals and ethics of regular people, and so they're like, just don't let them know about it.
Yep, just hide it from them. But the good news, the silver lining in all this, in this dystopian reality, is that I find that when I met with you a year ago, we talked about this vision to manifest hundreds of whistleblowers. These days, they're all. I mean, I'm talking tens of thousands of people have messaged me in the last few weeks, so it's all happening. It's happening because there's no place else for them to go, and it's getting worse and worse. That divergence between reality and what's presented on CNN. It's just that's getting wider of a gap.
Seeing the people chanting "Let's go, Brandon" all over the place.
Yes.
Yeah.
I mean, I know it's a funny thing, but these are regular people at a Jets game, at a football game.
Well, just take a look at what is it, the Fauci documentary that's coming out on Disney, right? I mean, and you see the trailer for it on YouTube, and it's got 7,000 thumbs up, and it's got 75,000 disapproval thumbs down. Like, that's a really good moment for people in America who are like, yeah, you know what? Maybe we should be talking about mandates versus absolutely the government not having this power.
Yeah, I think we have to be careful. We talked about this the other day about getting wrapped up into like discussions about exemptions, because we should be just saying no mandates, period.
Yep.
Because I think the any argument that says there are some mandates that are some of the times as long as we have exemptions results in a social credit system. But
Well, in my opinion, the vaccine passport is not going to lead to a social credit score, because it already is a social credit score. It's already the score of compliance that people have to jump through. They know that there's going to be a third one. They know that's going to be a fourth one. And there's not even a conversation when this is going to end. Usually with the lockdown, usually with a policy that's very intrusive in our lives, the government comes out and says, we're going to end this after this many people die from COVID, after these many cases. We don't have any of that. We don't have any conversation to when this will end, when this will stop, and it's not going to stop
It's
ever.
the new Afghanistan.
Yeah.
That's the thing, is there's no mission. There's never been a mission over there. What we've been talking about with the Afghan papers for 20 years, right?
Oh, yeah.
No mission. We're still sending guys outside the wire. It's a never-ending mission, and this is the same thing. It's like there is no end in sight ever.
I think the big issue here is with James's story. You've got a lot of people who have filed for religious exemptions, and they've been denied. Now, first and foremost, like I said, we'll be careful. I want to make sure we're very clear. We should be saying outright, no vaccine mandates, period, regardless. We shouldn't be demanding papers. It's between the person and their doctor. If you want to go and seek medical help, it's between you and your doctor, not us here on the internet or your business or the government. Now you have government officials and businesses with no regard for your private health matters. And on top of that, imagine you're in New York City where they mandate this, and you've got some embarrassing medical condition, and now you've got to go around every business exposing this embarrassing condition that should be private matter for you to live your life with dignity. That's another reason why I'm just like, they're demanding IDs at the door. That being said, this is, I think, a lawsuit winner for people who have who want to assert religious exemptions.
Yeah, and there's no religious exemptions at Pfizer for that's what this insider came forward regarding. So I think it's a game changer for society. It's just we live in this dystopian reality where these facts are just not even accepted. I mean, things have changed so quickly, even since I last saw you. I mean, in a just world, this would be on the front page of the New York Times and on 60 Minutes. These are executive emails at Pfizer.
Yeah.
You know what? I'm pretty sure everyone else was pissed off equally as much by the same thing when you see the fake whistleblower from Facebook, and not a single whistleblower that Veritas has come out with is going to be propped up on 60 Minutes and given this airtime.
Right. That was the Morgan Common at Facebook blew the whistle on the vaccine hesitancy scores, and he responded to Blumenthal from Connecticut, saying there should be more people inside tech. But the whistleblower inside Facebook, the supposed whistleblower, wanted more censorship.
Yeah. I mean, not even that. I mean, look at Assange. Look at Snowden. I mean, these people are still in exile. Assange is in jail. His accuser, who lied about the main witness that the government had against him, was caught lying. He was just arrested in Iceland just moments ago, and Assange is still in jail? How does that make sense? It doesn't.
Well,
Power.
Yeah. Those are the real whistleblowers. And then there's whistleblowers that work towards the agenda and the narrative that, of course, they keep, and they make prominent #1 news articles on CNN that they promote nonstop.
Thanks for checking out this clip from the Timcast IRL podcast. If you want to see the full show, come back to this channel, youtube.com/TimcastIRL. Monday through Friday at 8 p.m. where you can leave comments and super chat, and we actually will read your comments on the show. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe, and if you want exclusive members-only content, segments you can't get anywhere else, go to timcast.com, become a member, and we even have full bonus episodes. Thanks for hanging out, and we'll see you all next time.